What's up, YouTube land? Actually back again making another video. This video I was gonna make my favorite albums of 2019. It was kind of hard this year. A lot of great albums got released. A lot of like names that haven't released an album in a couple years. So it was pretty wild year. I think this year 2020 is gonna be pretty crazy too. I think like Megadeth's come out with an album, Anthrax. I think Ozzy's come out with an album in February. I heard AC/DC might. So that'd be cool. Actually listened to Devin Townsend, Empath. Am I saying that? Empath? On the stereo right there. I love this album. This is definitely one of my favorite albums of the year. I love Devin Townsend. I'm gonna try to see him in March. He's coming to town. So I guess we'll see. But before I get into my top 10, I was gonna get like my honorable mention albums. Maybe the albums that I like, but maybe they weren't in my top 10 I listened to the most, but I still like these albums a lot. Like I said, this is my opinion. It might be different from other people's. But here we go. We'll go with number 1. This is kind of, I would say this is an honorable mention. I like this album, but I feel like this band is kind of, I miss the heavier side of this band. This band's kind of, in the last couple of years, kind of dwindling for me. It's just kind of okay. I feel like it's more pop friendly, but I still like this album. I maybe listened to it maybe 1 or 2 times, but I still like this band. I think this band's very unique. I think the lead singer sounds really different. I'm talking about Volbeat. Rewind, Replay, Rebound. I like this song. I like the Last Day Under the Sun song, and there's just some cool stuff on here. I just kind of, the glare is kind of, I just miss the heavy stuff of Volbeat. You know, that's what I miss about this band, but I still like this band a lot. Like I said, I miss the heaviness of like, what is it? Guitar Gangsters and Cadillac. What's that? How's that? That album's badass. And then, what's the album with Sad Man's Tongue on it? Rock the Devil Metal, or Rock the Rebel Metal the Devil. I miss stuff like that. It's like super heavy. I know the guy from Anthrax. I can't remember his name. The guitar player, Rob something, Cogio, something like. He came to this band as one of the guitar players now. But I'm gonna keep listening to this album, see if it grows on me. It's just, it didn't really do anything for me, you know, like the old ones have. I mean, when I first heard Volbeat, I was just like blown away, and I just kind of missed the heaviness of this band. But I still think this album's decent. I mean, it still sounds like Volbeat, just kind of watered down Volbeat. But I heard they're coming to town, so I might have to check them out. Still a decent album. This definitely not in my top 10. Maybe their next album will get heavier. This next album, I really like this album. I really like this band. I got in this band through my wife's cousin, and actually was gonna go see them live. They opened up for Machine Head, and they canceled at the last minute, so I've never got to see them live. I want to see them live when they come to town. Of course, the lead singer, guitar player Alex is this badass, but I'm talking about Children of Bodom's Hex album. I like this album. This one in my top 10. I need to listen to it. Like, I was listening to it a lot when it first came out, and that kind of, so much stuff came out, I just kind of to stop listening. But I do like this album. Very heavy. I think I like this album better than I Worship, but very cool. Alex's guitar playing is as awesome as ever. I think this has kind of rejuvenated the band, but it's not like Are You Dead Yet or something, or my mind's just going blank. What's the album with I can't remember some of their older stuff, but this kind of sounds like the newer, like I Worship mixed with their older stuff. I still like it, but like I said, not in my top 10, but still a decent album by them. I feel like I said, they're rejuvenating, you know, the band a little bit. This band, I'm kind of new to this band, but I really like their old stuff. I like their album Horoscope, and like I'm really getting into thrash. Like I really like I can't Year of Decay, but I got their newer. I really like their last album called Grinding Wheel. Some of their songs kind of remind me of Anthrax for some reason. I'm actually wearing an Anthrax shirt. I got my tour shirt for All Kings. This is Overkill, Wings of War. I like this album. It was cool, but it definitely one of my top 10 albums. I know they had Jason Bitter from Shadows Fall drumming for them, which is cool. I really like Shadows Fall. I heard they're supposed to do something this year, come out with an album or tour or something. But I know one of John Davis from Shadows Falls is in Anthrax too. But like I said, cool album. I need to listen to it again. That's another album I listened to a couple times, and I just kind of stopped listening. Not because I didn't like it, I just kind of lost interest. But I need to listen to it again. I like old thrash, you know, and I think it's cool. I don't know who he is. The guitar player, bass player is wearing a Maximum the Hormone shirt. I think that's cool. But cool band. The next, like this band's coming in February. I know they had like a big shakeup. I know the original lead singer left, and I think the guy's name now singing for Toddler Tour or something. He sounds just like Jeff Tate. And their last album, Condition Human, I really liked. This one I really liked, but I didn't think it was as good. And I'm talking about Queensryche, The Verdict. I mean, it sounds like they've, you know, I don't know, Jeff Tate and co were kind of going in a different direction. That didn't really sound like Queensryche. I think the last three albums, including this one, they're just really going back to the old Queensryche sound that everybody likes. This is a really solid album. Like I said, I listened to it a lot when it first came out, and I just kind of stopped. But I still like this album. I need to pull it out and listen to it again. I've been listening to Human Condition a lot lately. I really like that album. I think that album's really good. Very cool. It sounds like old Queensryche with like new production, you know. Very cool. I think it's rejuvenated the band. I can't wait to see what they do. They're coming in February. I think John Fobb's opening for them. That's Rob Zombie's guitar player. I'm gonna have to check that out. This next band, their last album last year, Defy, was in my top 10, and this album's cool. It's weird because this album's heavier than Defy. I like Defy better, but I still like this album a lot. It's called Earth and Sky by Mice and Men. I really like this album, but not as well as Defy. But it's really, every song is heavy. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. I want to see this band live. I haven't yet, but I want to. But I really dig this band. Kind of a newer band. I'm almost 40. I'm in the kind of age bracket where I like old stuff and new stuff. So, but it kind of makes me feel young when I find a new band I like. Makes me feel young again. But very cool. Like I said, I didn't like it as much as Defy, but still I really liked it. It kind of sounds more like their old stuff than their new stuff, but I really dig it. Very cool. This next band, it's kind of sad because Vinnie Paul died, and this is his last album he's drummed on. I really liked it. It's kind of rejuvenated the band. I think they kind of got back to their sound that I love, like their first couple of albums. But again, like all the other albums that came out this year, I just kind of lost track of it. You know, I haven't really listened to as much as because there's just so much stuff that came out. But I'm talking about Hell Yeah, Welcome Home. I really like this album. It's a cool album. Really heavy stuff. Kind of going back to their first 2 or 3 albums. But I need like other albums I mentioned. I need to listen to it again. But I don't know, this band doesn't catch my interest like they used to. I used to love this band, especially their first album. I love that album. It kind of sounded like Mudvayne and Pantera, but I feel like, I don't know, they lost something. But I hate to hear about Vinnie Paul. Pantera's one of my favorite bands, and Vinnie Paul's one of my favorite drummers. But I guess the Abbott brothers are back together in heaven. They're making noise again. But this band I really like. I like Mark Tremonti. You know, I like Creed. You know, I don't hate Creed, but of course the band left. Scott Stapp started this band, Alter Bridge. I really like their album Home back in 2013, 2014. I like their last one, but only thing with this album, I'm talking about Alter Bridge's Walk the Sky. One thing about this album, I think it's got too many ballads on it. I really like the heavy rocking. You know, I want to hear Mark Tremonti shred on here, and it doesn't do that as much. But I still like this. I need to listen to it a little bit more. Like I said, it's a little too ballady for me, but it's still rocking. You know, I love this band. I saw them live in 2014, and they kicked ass. And Mark Tremonti's just a shredder. And then Miles Kennedy can sing. I think he can play guitar really well too. But I really like this band. But I don't know, just maybe this ain't the album for me. It's definitely it doesn't suck, but it's just like I said, too maybe ballady, maybe too really radio friendly. It needs a little bit more edge. But I need to listen to it more. Maybe it'll grow on me. But I still dug it a lot. But like I said, I want to see this band live again. Tremonti's solo stuff is really cool, really heavy, and he sings on it. His voice is really cool. But let's see, my next album. These two almost made it in my top 10. I think any other week it would have been a different top 10 because these definitely would have made it. And this band's got a newer band too that I really grown to love. And it's got like a different sound. They've really everybody kind of rips them off with the 7-string guitars, and I almost want to sound like them. And I'm talking about Periphery, Hellstand, and really cool album. Of course, it's got the heaviness. I kind of make this sounds like the old stuff and mixed with the newer stuff. Of course, you have the infectious choruses and really catchy choruses, but it's just super heavy. You know, what's his name? I I don't want to butcher his name. I know there's two guitar players, but he's a sick guitar player playing the 7-inch 6-string guitars. This is real sick. This is a really awesome, really solid album. Like I said, any other week, I probably would have liked this more, maybe. This band I love. This band I've listened to for the last 10 years, and I think they're just one of the best metal bands out there. They're from Sweden. The drummer actually left to go join Megadeth, and this album's really, really good. I don't even want to try to say the name of this album. Virkirleiden? I don't know, but I'm talking about Soulwork. Like I said, I love this band. Any other week, this probably would have been my top 10. Really solid album by them. I think I like this better than Ride the Majestic, but super, super cool. I really like, I can't stop listening to Living Infinite. I just think that album's just like amazing. Just really, really, the album blows my mind, but still a cool album. I think I said any other week, this would have like changed with my my number 10 probably, but this really, really, I got this the same time with number 10 album, but very, very cool album. About to get in my top 10. I was just gonna say some honorable mentions that I didn't get to, like one of my favorite band, the Wild Hearts. I never got a chance to get their album, but definitely one of my favorite albums of the year. I didn't listen to it maybe 1 or 2 times. Trying to think what another album that I listened to, but I never. Death Angel's Human Side was really good. I just listened to it the other day for the first time at the gym, and I loved it. And I think that would have been my top 10 if I would have bought it. But let's get into it. Let's see. My number 10 album would probably, I'm new to this band. I want to see them in May. They're coming with Suicide Silence and Tooth Grinder. And this band's just blown me away. I never got their first album, King of Nothing. That might be their second or third album. They had this song called Pieces on it that was like badass. It just blew me away. And this new album is called Marco. It's just like amazing. I'm talking about Ginger. Really, really cool band. They just have a unique sound, kind of like the Gent sound, but still really, really cool. They did from the Ukraine. And the lead singer, I don't know her name, but she has a like amazing voice. Goes from like really beautiful singing to like crazy death metal, demonic death metal growls. They're really cool. I really want to see this band before they sell out. I know this band's like the hot new thing, but I dig this band too. Really cool. Listen to new bands, makes you feel young again. I like this band. This is my number 9. I like this band since I was a little kid. Their self-titled is still the best, that and Life at Peachy. But they got Head back in the band the last couple of albums, and I think it's really rejuvenated the band. And I hate to hear about Jonathan Davis's wife dying, but this album's really cool. It's Corn to Nothing. Really, really sounds like the old stuff. Really, really cool. I'm really excited for what this band's gonna do. When they come to town, I want to see them again. I saw them in 2015, like the week I got married. They played their first album in its entirety, but I really like this album. I haven't listened to as much as the other stuff in here, but very, very cool album. Very sounds like old Korn, and that's what I love about it. This band, my buddy turned me on to, and I kind of like their older albums better, but their older albums were kind of like death metal, folk, kind of progressive, really, really cool. The lead singer, Michael Arkelfeldt, he goes from like death metal growls to like singing. But in a couple, the last 4 or 5 releases, they kind of turned into a 70 prong band. But it's still really, really cool. It sounds like, it reminds me of like 70s Black Sabbath or Dio or mixed with Yes. But really, really cool. Their new album, In Kind of Venom. I'd probably butchered the shit out of that. I'm not talking about Opeth. I have the English and the Swedish version, and I'm not listening to the Swedish version yet, but I need to. I want to do an album review on some of these albums, but it's kind of cool. Look at on a scorpion head. Kind of the album artwork even reminds me of like the 70s, but what can I say about this album? It's just kind of 70s prong. It kind of reminds me of Pink Floyd a little bit, maybe a little 90s Soundgarden, Alice in Chains, but I love this band, and they're really good live. And like I said, this was my number, I think it was my number 8 album, but very, very cool. Number 7 album, this band I kind of fell off the wagon with, but I still like them, and I don't know what made me buy this album. I think I bought their last one, but this album like blew me away. I really, really love this album. Listen to a lot. Super heavy, super catchy. Very, very cool. In Flames, I Mask. Really, really cool album. I was kind of surprised. I wasn't expecting much, but kind of blew me away. Very, very cool album. I love, let's see, We Will Remember, and I love the song I Mask, and every song's on here is like really cool. very, very kind of blew me away. Like, you know, I wasn't really expecting much, but this band is really coming a long ways. I can't wait to see what they do next. But this is one of my favorite albums by them in a long time. I remember getting into like Clayman and The Oracle and Reroute to Remain, and this is like their best album in a long time. I really like their last album. I can't remember what it was called, but very, very cool. Can't go wrong with In Flames. This is the album I'm actually listening to right now on the stereo. I'm listening to Devin Townsend's Empath. I think I'm saying that right. Very, very cool. I mean, you don't know what you're going to get with Devin Townsend. Just kind of like from death metal to like new age to like really melodic. It's just all over the place. But I'm going to try to go see him, and I think he's coming in March. I can't wait to see him. I love the Zotoid album. Love the song Hyperdrive. I think I put it on one of my videos, but very, very cool. Like I said, he's a madman in metal. Can't go wrong. I love Strapping Young Lad. Very, very cool. Some of the Strapping Young Lad albums are out of print, but I'm trying to slowly collect them, but very, very cool. This band, this is like one of the bands that kind of got me into metal, along with Metallica, Pantera, Megadeth, but this band, they put out a really solid album. I really wasn't expecting much by them, but very, very cool album by Slipknot, We Are Not Your Kind. This album's really, really solid. Kind of surprised me. I wouldn't, like I said, I wasn't really expecting much, but I really, really liked it. Listened to it several times. Very, very cool. Like I said, it just kind of gets overshadowed by other albums that I got this year. But you know, it kind of goes back to the kind of reminds me of like, you know, Volume 3, that kind of experimental kind of, but it's still super heavy. Kind of reminds me of the heaviness of Iowa with the experimentalness of like Volume 3. But very, very cool. Really kind of really impressed. Like I said, I wasn't really expecting much by this band, but I was really impressed. I like that. I like being impressed by this. And number 4 and number 3 kind of switched, but I got in this band 10 years ago, and I love this band. I know the drummer Mike Portnoy has left the band a long time ago, but Mike Minichetti, I think is his name, is a drummer. He's the baddest drummer. This is like one of their best albums since I think Mike Portnoy left. It's not like I don't like their albums. I do like their albums. I still buy them, but this album is just sick. It's got like kind of thrash mixed in with it, and it's just really kind of the shorter songs. I think it's their best album in a long time. I'm talking about Dream Theater, Distance Over Time. Really cool album. I was really impressed by this album. I did a review on it, but I've listened to this several times. I love Fall Into Light. That song kind of reminds me of like a Megadeth, Metallica song, very thrashy. I mean, there's so many cool songs on here. Like I said, they're the most solid album in a long time. Very, very cool. I was really impressed. I got this not expecting much, and I heard the singles, you know, I wasn't really impressed, and I got the album, and I was very, very cool. I said I haven't seen this band live. They're definitely on my bucket list. I really want to see them. One of my favorite bands. And my number 3, like I said, this is another band I love. Like when they come out with the album, I gotta get it. I know I'm gonna like it. They don't really change their sound. I guess it's not broke, you know, you don't fix it. But I'm talking about Killswitch Engage, Atonement. I'm sorry. Very, very cool album. This is a sick album. They're back on Metal Blade, which is cool. They even have a song with Howard Jones, their old lead singer, and he's in an awesome band now called Light the Torch. Take Control, I think, is the song he's on. But sick album. I love this album. Very, very cool. Like I said, I wasn't expecting much, and it really surprised me. Very, very cool. That's my number 3. My number 2 is 2 albums, but they're by the same band. They released on the same day. This band, I guess, is a Christian band, but I don't think I did review on both these. But I just think they're some of the best metal you can get. I think this band is sick. I never heard anybody talk about these 2 albums this year, and I think that's a crime because this band is really underrated, and both albums are just sick. And I'm talking about Demon Hunter, War and Peace. You know, it's weird. Nobody really talks about these albums. I think these albums are sick. I don't know if it's because they're a Christian band, which is kind of ridiculous, but really, really cool album. I would say War's a more heavier one. You know, that kind of makes sense. And Peace is more mellow, but they both have heavy stuff on both of them. But really, really 2 sick albums. I was kind of like, you know, I don't know if I'm gonna like these, but I should have known better because Demon Hunter always puts out solid stuff. But really, really cool. I don't know if it's supposed to be a double album or just 2 albums on the same day. I don't know, but really cool. My favorite song is from the second album, and it's Bet My Life. That song's like sick, but that's my second album of the year. 2009, 19. I'm gonna say 2009. This band have been kind of joking around, kind of messing with fans about coming out with a new album for like, I think the last time we came out in 2006. And they kind of messed with fans, and they played some of the songs from this album, and it finally came out in August. And I went to Target, and I went to the rack, and they only had 2 of them, and they were both in the back. And the kid asked me, who's this band Tool? And I was like, I kind of told him, hey, it's this progressive metal band. I don't really know how to describe them, but check them out. But I finally got it, Tool, and Inoculum. I think I said that. I can't talk at all. I'm from the South. But I got the one with the monitor in it. And it's kind of creepy. So, but it's gonna play some creepy music. So it's almost like opening up the big Book of the Dead. You know, I'm getting possessed like an Evil Dead. But really solid album. It kind of reminds me of their old stuff, mixed it with like 10,000 Days or Lattice. Kind of remind me of that old stuff mixed with that. Like they have a song called The Tempest. I think they won like a Grammy for it the other night. It kind of reminds me of something that would be in on Undertow or something. But really solid album. This is my number 1. I kind of like when people that kind of give them a hard time, they say, you know, this album's not gonna be worth the wait. And I was kind of thinking the same thing, but it really was worth the wait. And I was kind of surprised. It's really solid album, and I've listened to it several times, and the songs are really long and prongy, but really cool. That's my number 1 of the year. Well, cool. Well, I appreciate you watching my video. Cheers.